Hello everyone. I wanted to come on and introduce you to what we have going on this second week of seminar. I hope you're all doing well and staying healthy, practicing frequent hand washing and the social distancing that has been recommended. I sent out a link in an email on Friday, just yesterday, about a Zoom meeting that Donna Boucher has set up for the class, and I think she's going to do some things on resume writing, but she is the director of the Career and Employer Relations Department at Vincennes University, and she had asked me for a couple of times, so I gave her Monday and Wednesday at 1 o'clock. And so if you could please make it a point to join that Zoom meeting. She, she specifically is hosting this for our students. And so I would like for us to be represented well during the meetings. And she also was very interested in doing this because she wants you to have an opportunity to kind of get acquainted with Zoom. It's the video conferencing app and ways that people are meeting right now virtually during this time. And so she's trying to meet with as many Vincennes University graduates as she can to help prepare them for that sort of a situation during the hiring process. So if you could please make it a point to join that meeting. All you have to do is copy and paste the link I sent, and I think she gave directions for that. So please make sure that you take advantage of that. She and her team are very good people to have contact with. She can help you fine-tune your resume. She can give you some interview tips, and they just do a really good job. They post job opportunities that they receive, and anytime I get something from somebody, I go ahead and send it to her and have it posted. Of course, I will also forward it in email to you all. But she's a great person to make a contact with. I feel like she sort of puts the polishing touches on what we've done to help prepare you. But this is more of the interview and fine-tuning resume types of things. You will have your resumes due this week, and I just wanted to talk about a couple of common errors that I usually see on the resume writing. First of all, you will be receiving an Associate of Science degree, not associates with an apostrophe. It's not an apostrophe S. It's just an Associate of Science degree in physical therapist assisting. Not physical therapy assisting, physical therapist assisting. And I sent or in the course documents, there's an example of a really good resume that was written last year by a student. So you can refer to that. They did a really good job at getting the details of everything. The other thing, when you're writing your work experience, you want to make, and I'm not an English teacher, you all know that, but the tense in which you are writing should all be the same. So, in other words, it shouldn't be something like assisted customers, with whatever job you were referring to, and then the next line maybe you're saying providing. It should be assisted and provided so that it's in the same tense all the way down. So those are some common errors that I've seen. But that sample, please refer to that sample, and you'll see what I mean. The other thing is, please take a look at your email addresses. I think they're okay. I just, I haven't really paid that much attention, but we've had some people in the past who have just had email addresses that weren't professional. Maybe they were something that you thought was funny or cute back in high school, but now it's just not appropriate. So, just something that's professional, and you have to remember you're making a first impression through your email, the name of your email even. Along those lines, I would also like you to check your cell phone voicemail. And again, a message that maybe you don't even know that it's on there, that you did it so long ago when you don't even know what it says, but it will be the first point of contact that employer will make. And so you want to make sure that it's professional, and you just have to state your name, your phone number, that you will get back to that person as soon as you possibly can. I would say no like music or funny ringtones or any of that kind of thing. That can leave just not a real great impression if it's something that's weird or just not professional. It's the only thing I know how to say. The other thing that we usually talk about on campus is your social media accounts. And if I were you, I would take a look at those. Take a look at your social media. Employers can and do have the right to look at your stuff. And so once again, you want it to be something that speaks well to your character. If you've got a bunch of photos of you and your friends partying and that kind of thing, that's not good. Even if it was back some time ago, and that's not really who you are or what you do now, that still projects an image. And so I would say, take down any photos that don't put you in a very good light, something that you would not want your grandma to see. Just take it down. Use that as your litmus test. And so, social media, voicemail, emails, just make sure that they are sending the message that you are a young adult, you're professional, you are wanting to be employed by this company. We usually get into some interview taking tips when you're on campus. Donna may do some of that with you this week, and I know this, it's like, Natalie, why do you put us through these things? But I usually talk about, you want to be prepared for the interview questions, and Donna may have some potential interview questions. It was a few years ago, there were several employers that were asking people, well, if you were a superhero, what superhero would you want to be, and why would you want those superpowers? It was kind of I've never heard that one before, but it was kind of a buzz thing, I think, for a while. But usually they're going to ask you what your strengths are, what areas you think you need improved on. Are you a team player? how do you communicate with other people? How do you react to situations that are stressful? That kind of stuff. So you can begin to formulate some answers to those sorts of, very common questions. I think during an interview, your passion for the profession should really come forth. You don't want to go outside of your own personality and be super smiley and super like perky if that's not really how you are. But I think you can speak to, what it was that you really enjoyed on clinicals, the passion that you have for wanting to improve the quality of life of other people, things of that sort. I would also say during the interview, you might want to ask them about their continuing education policy. What is it that they do to continue to help keep you updated? And I always recommend to my students that they even ask, are there continuing educational dollars that I can use to go to seminars or to pay for, a continuing education course. I think it's also something that is appropriate is if you ask if they pay for American Physical Therapy Association dues, the APTA dues. Those are kind of pricey, I think I pay maybe about $400 a year for that. And some employers, would probably pick that up for you. But I feel like that speaks to your commitment to continue learning. And so, it's always worth an ask and see what they have. And, you may choose to be employed by a facility that values that more than you would just for, $3 or $4 or $5 an hour more from another company. It just really, depends on what your desires are. But I feel like that speaks to something when someone is asking about how am I going to be supported for continuing my education. And just as far as interview types of things, I'm not going to say that I have the best grammar. I know I don't. But a common one that I seriously hear a lot around this area is I seen instead of I saw. And you may have said that for years and not even recognized it in yourself. And, just thinking back from the class, I can't really say that when I was talking to any of you that I noticed that particularly from anyone in the class. But I'm just saying it's pretty common, and that's not grammatically correct. You should say I saw. And so as much as you can, practice what you're saying, kind of listen to yourself when you're talking to your family or your friends, and are there some common, because that is something that people will notice. If there's something like that is obviously not correct. And then I usually talk about what to wear at an interview. If you're physically going on an interview, or even if you're doing a Zoom meeting, you want to look professional. Even if you have a Zoom meeting and you're home, you don't want to be in your pajamas sitting on your bed having your interview. You need to look the part. So get up, if you're male, shave, do your hair, make your hair look nice. Gals, same thing. Get up, shower. If you wear makeup, apply your makeup well, do your hair. And, as far as if you're physically going to an interview, our employer and career relations people have kind of made it a point over the years to say, you need to really go all out for this. And they recommended that our gals wear, like a jacket and trousers, or trousers and a nice sweater, or a nice, button-up top, or even a skirt with a button-up top and maybe a scarf to pop the color. Guys, they recommended suits and ties. A few years ago, they had a career fair and invited our students, and they wanted our students to be dressed up. So the gals, all the class did it. We were in lab, and they went and changed their clothes at the end of lab so we could go to the career fair. And I mean, they looked very, very nice. We used to say maybe what you would wear to church or a funeral, but those types of social rules have declined somewhat. So for gals, and this is just strictly me, you guys know me, I know I can be ridiculous at times, but I am a physical therapist, and when I notice someone who is wearing a high heel or something that alters their gait, I don't think you want to go that far. You don't need to wear 3 or 4 inch stiletto heels, but maybe 1 or 2 inch heel. Usually navy blue has been a color that they've said over the years is very professional, kind of a neutral color. Gray, that smoky gray color for trousers, and maybe a white colored top. Or gals, you could wear a fuchsia top or something that would go with the navy. And so if you're wondering what to wear, just watch an episode of What Not to Wear. And you'll kind of get the idea of professional attire. Please do not, gals, don't go in showing cleavage. That is not professional. There's never a need to do that. Sometimes I think women think that's going to help them. I mean, maybe not, I don't know. But that's not going to help you. That's, I had a student a long time ago, and this was, I don't know, I shouldn't say, but came in and clearly, just had a very low cut shirt and did not impress me at all. Immediately I was thinking, no, this person is not going to be professional enough to be in the clinic. And again, I've never seen anybody in the class do that. I probably would have already pulled you aside and said, you gotta change your attire here. But you don't want to look like we did in lab. And I've had some people say, well, what about khakis and a polo shirt? Well, yes, I mean, that's what a lot of us wear in physical therapy when we're working. But is that going to set you apart from someone else? Probably not. If you go in with a certain appearance, that can set an impression, like it or not, it will. So, just as nice as you can possibly look. And I know, funds are probably tight and that kind of thing. But I've found some really nice things these days, like at Target or even Walmart. I'll shop and see some really nice things there, so that aren't super expensive. So kind of figure out what you want your look to be. I don't want you to be somebody that you're not. Don't change your whole self for this, but I do think you should think about what is the best version of myself. And if you're not used to wearing a bunch of makeup, don't do it now. But you don't want to overdo, but you don't want to underdo either. And sometimes I think we tend to be very lax in those kinds of environments these days. And the studies and when I've talked to the Career Center, that's not what we want. That really has not been shown to kind of set somebody apart for a job. So be mindful of that. Definitely jeans, t-shirts, open-toed sandals, not appropriate. If you are wearing a dress, gals, make sure it comes just above your knee, no shorter. I've seen a lot of young girls who wear very, very short skirts or dresses. You're not going to a concert. This is for a job interview, so make sure that it's an appropriate length. We had some people from IU Health come a few years, and they actually recommended that us gals wear pantyhose. It's been a long time since I put on a pair of pantyhose, but that was something that they recommended if you do wear a skirt or a dress. As far as what is coming up this week, well, let me backtrack just a second. I think it was Wednesday or Thursday last week, I sent each of you how to register for something called ACE, ACE, and boot camp through Score Builders. And that was what they provided to each of you in lieu of the University of Evansville campus course that was coming up. I think it was like the 6th or 7th of May. So it was a pretty easy registration process, but there were multiple codes and I had to copy and paste everything into your email. So please make sure that you can access those accounts. You need to get going on that. That's your review course through Score Builders. At least, I kind of keep going back to the same schedule that we would have had, but this would have been during finals week if we were still on the same schedule. So you can start it now. I think you have 120 days of access to it. You can start it now, but I would definitely make sure you can get on the account, because once I pack up for the summer, to be honest, I'm going to need some time off, and I'm probably not going to check my email very much for that type of thing. I won't be on contract. I won't be obligated to check my email. And so I don't want you emailing me in June or sometime in June and going, Natalie, I don't know where that access code is. I'm not going to have that. So make sure that you stay responsible for that. I'm just kind of giving you a fair warning and just kind of being honest. I'm really going to have to take a couple of weeks off to get some rest at the end of this semester. It's been extremely challenging, to say the least. So make sure that you can access that, the ACE and the boot camp. and get in touch with me ASAP if you're having problems. And I want to make sure that you can at least get on there and you know how to access it. But that is your review course. That's the online review course that you typically would have gone to the University of Evansville for. For coming up this coming week, what I want to do is I'll put another video out that will explain how to apply for the state board exam, how to apply for a licensure. And I have posted web links for the Indiana Physical Therapy site through the Health Professions Bureau, and I've also done one for Illinois. They're in the web links on your side menu on Blackboard. So if you want to kind of take a look at that site, it has all of the information, but I usually spend about 2 hours on campus going through the process. I don't know that it'll take me that long, doing it this way. But I know you can read, and I know you could figure it out. It's just that it kind of helps, I think, if you have somebody explain it a little bit, because there are several steps to it, and it can get a little bit confusing. So I'll put out another video somewhere between Monday and Wednesday about how to apply for licensure. And then the last thing that I will do this week, which I did last week as well, is I will put out mock questions, state board questions, and analysis of those questions. And those will be on the Blackboard site. And so it just takes you through, again, the process to try to break these questions down and figure out how to study with the test. I sent out an announcement at the end of last week. I don't know that I don't want to threaten you or anything with it, but I can see who is doing what on the site. I'm not really going to check it that much, but I was just kind of curious. But only 5 out of the 18 students had looked at the instructional videos. I'm not doing this just to do it. I'm doing it because I think it needs done, and I think it will help you. And so make sure that you're starting to prepare for this state board. And I said I was only going to remind you one time, but here I go again. It's time. You got to start doing this. Particularly if you were below the 60 to 65% range, even on mock exam 1, you've got some ground to cover. And so now that we're in quarantine and there's just really not much going on, use this time. Use your time wisely. Don't wait until the end of June and realize that you've got some major issues with being prepared. So that's all I've got for now. Take care. Let me know if you need anything, and I'll be back on here sometime later this week.